I gotta keep this short and sweet tonight, but what more can be said than just terrible gameplay all around? Never have I seen in the all the seasons of the US Traitors, the few seasons of international Traitors, I've never seen a group of Traitors play this bad as a unit because they all want to go after each other all of a sudden. Like, you really have Boston Rob playing the same game he's always played, as I've talked about for weeks now, where you got to trust him or he's going to go after you. And it just becomes so obvious in a game like this that he's a traitor. Danielle's been so paranoid this entire game, doing the most. And now Carolyn, who has been not pushing her way the entire season, now wants to play this emotional game going after Danielle because Danielle has threw her name out there, which I get from Carolyn on one hand, but also as a unit, y'all look like shit. But then on the other side of the coin, the faithful are playing just as bad, if not worse. If the traitors are playing this bad, the faithful really have to be blind to not be doing better than they are right now. And I get that we're only midway through the game, and the early game is harder for faithful, as I always say. But the traitors are playing so bad. The fact that the faithful are in the positions that they are is horrid gameplay. And I know there's people out there that are like, I watch for the drama and not the gameplay. And that would be fair. But the first half of this episode before the roundtable was not interesting. There's not like this great drama going on. It's not like Tom Sandoval's terrible reads are great TV. The roundtable, though, and the vote was good. I said last week that I would have to give Derek credit if he did push for Boss and Rob this week hard, and he did, and I will give him the credit. You know, I am a bona fide Derek hater. I will say that. I am. But he deserves the credit right now to being the only person, not, especially now that Wes is gone, being the only person really pushing an accurate agenda. Sure, he thinks Brittany is a traitor too, but Brittany dug her own grave this episode. Brittany's brought nothing to the season so far. You know, she's never been good at games, so that side of the coin's not surprising. But it's good to see her finally showing up in a storyline this season with the whole listening to Rob over Derek thing. I didn't even follow Brittany's logic that Derek somehow lied to her. He said he's not pushing for Rob this round, but that is a name out there. And then I guess she was mad because he did push at the round table, but that wasn't... I don't think she has a right to be mad at Derek. She needs to be mad at her own terrible intuition thus far on these votes and out roundtables in general. She just stays quiet, brings nothing. And then she did ask Carolyn if she said her name because Danielle told Brittany that she said Brittany's name. And Danielle wasn't lying because she did say Brittany's name in the turret as a traitor. That's kind of what caused more friction between Carolyn and Danielle. So that's where the game stands. It was sad to see Wes go, one of the only person rootable left in the game, in my opinion. He got this reputation at the round table for being too aggressive, and I found his game to not be aggressive enough this season. So that was surprising to hear. I could understand how his personality rubs some people the wrong way. He's got this cocky attitude a lot of times, and he is an aggressive game player, but he was not aggressive this season like he needed to be. He was trying to play safe, and I kind of bit him, I guess, in the end because he still came off aggressive. But the whole thing I kept thinking this entire episode is like the traitors are so aggressive this season. It's just too much too soon, and that has been all of the issues for them. And then Wes said what I was thinking at the roundtable. Terrible traitors are too aggressive, and that is Boss and Rob's game this season and every season he's ever played. And it's only worked out for him when production held his hand to help get him a win. The one thing Rob has going for him is that all of these faithful are so dumb and are like sheep. Truly watching the likes of Tom Sandoval try and play this game, the edit he's getting is bad because he just looks dumb. I think NBC Universal did want to really give him this terrible edit after him cheating on Ariana Madix. So that's the edit he's getting. But I do think that is his gameplay. He just seems to be loud and wrong with wrong theories, different theories every week, going after Dolores this week. Dolores made a good point bringing up something Bob said about the terrible faithful is more dangerous than a traitor. And in the long run, that could be true for the faithful. But the faithful have everything going for them despite being dumb. And it's why I'm having a hard time rooting for anybody left. Like I said, I'm a bona fide Derek hater. And the fact that he is like the only rootable person right now is a sad state of affairs for the rest of the season. Because Tom's bringing nothing to the table. I didn't even mention that Bob Harper was the person murdered, which once again ties back to Rob's bad gameplay because he continues to go after the people that are going after him. And while I get that in the short term, sooner or later, you're just going to look like the traitor. It just becomes that obvious. And I do think that as dumb as this cast is, and as much as they are sheep, and as much as Zac Efron's brother is up Rob's ass, I still think that Rob is playing such a bad aggressive game that it will catch up to him. Because especially if he does go after Derek this time, if they try and kill off Derek, he has to look like the obvious traitor. No matter if Danielle and Carolyn want to go after each other, and that's Carolyn's new game plan. She just wants to be an emotional mess and go after Danielle and try and make Rob do it too, because Danielle did stupidly vote for Rob, thinking they had the numbers to get Rob out the round table. So it'd be easy for both traitors to go after Danielle. However, in my opinion, despite there being some sheep following Rob, Danielle has the best social game in the house out of all the traitors. I've seen a lot of people say that Danielle's playing worse than Dan last season. No. Let's get that straight real quick. Dan was such a bad traitor that he almost single-handedly brought down the traitors last season. At least this season, as a unit, they're all equally playing bad and all equally trying to take down each other. But Dan played so bad, he took down the entire traitors. Danielle, while she's done a lot, while she's been a messy player, her social game has been on point. She has numbers in that house. I think Rob has numbers too. That's where that's where Carolyn's game falls apart for me. I think Carolyn doesn't have a lot going for her. I think if Danielle keeps pushing the fact that Carolyn's playing an emotional game, she might look like a bad faithful that Dolores was talking about and give herself the boot in a vote coming up. I guess going forward, I just want to see someone become likable. Because it's hard to root for the traitors when they're playing so piss poor. But the faithful are also dumb. Take that back. I forgot about Gabby. I do like Gabby. Outside of Derek, I guess I have to root for Gabby. Because Gabby did vote right. She did vote for Rob. She did listen to Derek, have the better pitch. People voting for Wes because he rubs them the wrong way is why I don't like terrible casts like we have. That's why I would rather just have regular people that like games like this play instead of the whole cast being celebrities or celebrity adjacent or reality stars. Like half the cast, like first season, fine. But people like Tom Sandoval, Britney Spears' ex, who's brought nothing to this season, Ivar, who I believe is going to win the season because nobody's going to vote him out, and he's probably not going to get offed either by the traitors. What a terrible winner that would be for the season if Ivar is one of the sole winners. Imagine Ivar and Britney Spears' ex win this season. Hell, throw in Zac Efron's brother. It's like the trifecta of bad casting winning the season. But that seems to be the trajectory of the season because the Traitors have decided to be a hot mess. So going forward, I don't know who the Traitors are going to kill. If they kill off Derek, that's like Rob is painting the biggest target on his back at some point in the near future. If Derek is the next victim of the Traitors, I don't know who else they would kill. Maybe this is the chance to kill Ivar and get a number out of the way. But if Carolyn and Danielle are going to keep going back and forth, battling each other, if Carolyn's going to continue to play emotional, Danielle's going to continue to play paranoid, no idea who they off outside of Derek. So, Gabby, I hope you continue to listen closely like you did in this episode and win the game for the faithful. Because anybody else winning at this point besides Derek, not going to be a good winner.